if Bret wants to say something and it's the way he feels, I always just try to respect it and go, okay, it's the way Bret feels. I might not agree with it. The talent in WWE might not agree with it. We don't all have to agree with everyone, because I'm sure there's feelings that I have that Bret wouldn't agree with. There's things that Bret says that I'm like, yeah, I get that, but well, it's a little different now.
Last question. This regards the family. Uncle Bret, who I'm very close friends with as well, periodically comes out and says things about the business, about the current flock of performers in the business that a lot of people are like, well, why would he say that? So I'm sure you see some of this stuff on social media. What's your take on that? I
think, first of all, I think Bret the way Bret is, since I've known him since I was a kid, he's just very honest. He's sometimes almost too honest, where it's like it can come off as being very blunt. But I also think sometimes websites look for things like clickbait, where they can get like, Bret will do a 2-hour interview with somebody and then they'll only capture one sentence of what he said. And so I think that sometimes he'll get one little sentence that'll be captured and then it'll be magnified and then it'll be exploded. But I think, Bret he's done so much stuff in the industry. He's iconic. He's done he's given his blood, sweat, and tears, and our family has literally lived and died for this business. We've lost so many family members, and our family has had the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And Bret has kind of witnessed, he's witnessed all of them. And he's one of the last people of his generation that's left. When you think about my dad and Owen and Davey and my grandfather Stu and Dynamite and Brian Pillman, just those names in that realm. So if Bret wants to say something and it's the way he feels, I always just try to respect it and go, okay, it's the way Bret feels. I might not agree with it. The talent in WWE might not agree with it. We don't all have to agree with everyone, because I'm sure there's feelings that I have that Bret wouldn't agree with. There's things that Bret says that I'm like, yeah, I get that, but well, it's a little different now. Or, for me, when he made a comment about people catching a lot of, there's 10 people catching one guy. When I'm in those situations and somebody wants to do a dive and there's a bunch of girls to catch us, I always just feel so much better when we can all be safer. So it's going to be so much safer for the person diving when they have a couple extra bodies to catch them. I'm the biggest thing I think about all the time is safety. So when Bret said that, it's I know it would be great if we, but it's just, I think now sometimes we're thinking a little bit more about safety, but he doesn't want to see blood every single week on TV. That's fine. That's the way he is. Some people like it. Some people don't. He doesn't like it. But then I think about, I think about some of Bret's best matches and I'm like, damn, the match with Steve Austin, there was blood. So I'm like, it kind of made the match more dramatic, and it was a moment. So I deeply respect whatever Bret is saying. I think that he's earned the right to have the voice that he has today. And I think Bret's kind of if people like it, they don't have to, if they like it, great. But if they don't like it, that's okay. People are allowed to feel different things. He's unapologetic is really what it is. He just wants to say what he wants to say.
Yeah. So where can people find you on social media?
By the way, this interview has been such a fun interview. This is the interview
me too. I'm just, we're family, so I get it.
This is an interview that every superstar in WWE would crave, because it's just like chatting with an old friend. And so I so appreciate that. But you can find me on Twitter at Nat by Nature. You can find me on Instagram at Nat by Nature. And then I'm on YouTube as well, The Neidharts. My sister and I have a fun YouTube channel called The Neidharts. We're almost about to hit 100,000 subscribers. So
are you still writing for the newspaper, by the way?
I wrote a column for the Calgary Sun for 5 years. I stopped doing it because during the pandemic, they stopped printing off newspapers. They were not printing them off as much as they were. So some weeks my article wouldn't be in the paper, and they were like, listen, we're down to 20 pages of the paper. We're cutting back. We're scaling back. So, but I wrote for them for 5 years. I love doing that column. It was so much fun.
Yeah. So you've got to follow me on Twitter now, by the way. It's at Apter1Wrestling.
Okay, I'm going to do that right when I get off the phone with you. I thought I already was. Okay, I'll do that right now.
What would you like to say to your fans? You've been fans for 16 years that have been watching you and they adore you, what do you want to say to them?
Oh, just thank you. Nothing ever goes unnoticed with me. I see all the tweets. I see all the positive comments. I see the negative comments too, but the fans that have been loyal to me since the very beginning, I'm so grateful for. I wouldn't change any of it for the world. And I think I'm just so grateful. People that line up to see us before we get into a building, people that come to the shows, they bring a poster or they buy your shirt, or they don't realize just how much they actually make your day. And they make you feel like everything that you do that day or that week or that year was so worth it. Yeah. Because, a lot of the times our lives are like planes, trains, and automobiles, where I'm traveling around the world and away from my family and living out of motels or hotels and living in rental cars. And there's a lot of lonely times, and our fans, they always make me feel like I've got family no matter what corner of the world that I'm in. So thank you.
Great. That's great. By the way, one of the things you don't know, you were talking about how nice this is that we're two friends chatting, but I was way back, probably about when the WWE Network first started, they flew me down to do a pilot show that was going to be just like this. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Talk to Paul about it again. Maybe we can get that kicked up again. Let him know.
I would love that. You're so, I love your passion for what we do. And I love how respectful you are to the people in this industry.
Thank you. And by the way, I have a book out called Is Wrestling Fixed? I didn't know it was broken. It's been out 7 years. It's a bestseller. And if Chuck will send me your mailing address, I'll gladly send a copy of that.
Yes, I would love that. I'm going to follow you right now on Twitter too.
Okay, do that, and then we can private message. Anyway, thank you so much for your time, and thank you, for also talking to the guys at Sportskeeda. I've been with them for a year and a half now, and I keep looking at you, and you have that youthful thing going for you, so just keep it up because you're amazing.
Thank you, Bill. It's a good moisturizer.
It is. All right. This is Bill Apter for the Apter Chat. And would you mind pointing to the camera? We'll see you at the matches.
We'll see you at the matches.
She said it too.